Good morning. Good morning. All right, let's do better than we did last week. Let's start with that. I'm still trying to recover from the monstrosity that was the wild card round. It always gets me every year. I love the divisional round. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for these four games because this is my round. I feel great. I love these games. I love the games today. Love the games tomorrow. But I want to do a quick recap because we got to figure out how we got here. So yeah, last week starting with the Packers and the Bears. The Bears get the win over the Packers, and that's going to be the late game on Sunday. So I'm going a little out of order here, but that was the first domino where if you were on the right side of that, it was probably a good weekend for you. Where you're like, "Damn, I got lucky. I had the Bears," or if you had the over. Either way, you're like, "Yeah, that's good things are coming." And then if you had the Packers or the under or whatever, in my case, it was Packers under Bears. So a whole bunch of different things. It was just a sign that it was going to be a tough weekend. And then the last game with Pittsburgh and Houston is just, oh God, I want them all again. I mean, I kind of do, but the reality is Stroud fumbled the ball a million times. Steelers just couldn't convert. And then the game gets out of hand at the end. But how we got here with the rest of these games and the teams that are coming off the bye, it's so fascinating to me to see who does better with the rest, the travel, the momentum, because you're going to start contradicting yourself. You can't just stick to one principle, but each game in itself is different. So when I look at all these games, starting with the Broncos and the Bills, this is the game where I feel like the rest for Denver, the ability to scout Buffalo, the getting Greenlaw back at middle linebacker, who was an addition for them this year, wasn't on the team last year. And then Buffalo just feeling like they're going to be worn out. Just so much traveling. First down to Jacksonville, back to Buffalo, now to Denver. And it's the first game. And they don't have any weapons really to throw to. The way you take the Bills today is if you think Bo Nix is just going to screw this game up. And I know that's on the table, but I just think the Broncos are going to win this game. I don't love Buffalo's matchup here. I didn't love it last week against Jacksonville. I know they proved me wrong when they came back and won that game, but I thought that was a product of Jacksonville just not converting opportunities early enough. And surprisingly, Buffalo didn't even get any of their run game going. And yet Josh was able to make play after play and ultimately pull the game out. I just feel like it's going to be tough for Buffalo to move the ball at all against Denver. This Broncos defense, they really fixed their team. I mean, last year, their season ended in Buffalo, getting absolutely destroyed. They were up 7-0, threw a bomb. You're like, man, is this going to be the game where there's a big upset in the wild card round, and it turned out not to be the case. Buffalo completely dominated them on both sides of the ball, controlled the ball, did whatever they wanted to do. And then the Broncos, they toughened up in the offseason. They brought in Greenlaw and Hufanga, the safety from San Francisco, and they battled all the way to get to the 1 seed. I'm not convinced. In fact, I'll probably bet against them in the AFC Championship game. But for this particular matchup, everything's pointing to Denver for me. The spread being Buffalo favored by a point is really just the Bo Nix situation. Because if you're watching these games, it's Bo Nix does not pass the eye test more than half the times you turn on the game. His specialty's been the fourth quarter. I don't know. If this was a neutral site and each team had its rest, I would take Buffalo. But because of the situation here, I'm going to go with the Broncos. The game tonight is the game I feel the best about is San Francisco. So the 49ers, again, their traveling situation is a little bit stressful. They're coming off short rest, but a little bit better than Buffalo in the sense they're flying from San Francisco to Seattle instead of Buffalo to Denver. So San Francisco goes to Seattle. Seattle has a bunch of rest. They're sitting there. They're waiting for them. I just feel like the 49ers have so much momentum on defense that it can carry over for one more week. I don't know, and probably doesn't carry over for the following week against the Rams or the Bears. But this week against Darnold, I think it does carry over. I know they don't have any players anybody knows. Trying to get to know these guys as Robert Saleh is going to get a head coaching job based on what he's done with this 49ers defense. But I just think there's going to be enough momentum tonight. Seattle's not going to be able to run the football. And you're going to be looking at a similar game that we saw, 2 weeks ago to end the season in San Francisco, which Seattle did dominate 13-3. But the Niners did not have Trent Williams, the big left tackle, and I think that makes a huge difference. I think Pearsall's going to play. I know Kittle's not going to play, but I like the Seahawks more when they're the underdog. I like the Niners more when they're the underdog. I think both teams this year have so many flaws, and it's just a relatively weak NFL, a lot of mediocrity. So both these teams, when they have the underdog mentality, chip on their shoulder, I like that situation better. I don't know how the Seahawks are going to respond to being the one seed. I wonder if they're a little tight. I love McDonald. I mean, I want them, deep down, I would want the Seahawks to win. I don't have any allegiance to the Niners, but I think the Niners are going to win the game. I'll certainly take the 7 points. I was trying to figure out why it was 7 points, and I think it's just a product of what happened in Week 18, where the Seahawks won by 10 on the road, and then the Niners lose Kittle. So naturally, the spread. I just thought it should be closer to 4.5. I think the Seahawks are going to struggle to score. I got the under for Seahawks points. I think Purdy's going to play great. I think the Niners were so close to winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago. They've been knocking on the door. It'd be weird for them to win this year with all these injuries. This is clearly the worst team out of the handful of great 49ers teams that have made the Super Bowl, made the NFC Championship. You don't feel like this team has got the talent, but Shanahan on the road, McCaffrey in a one-game situation. The way they beat the Eagles last week was so impressive that I think the momentum carries over. And if they don't win, I think it gets really close. But yeah, I got the Niners. I got the Niners winning this game. I think the Darnold situation, hurting himself in practice, is just as bad of an omen as you can possibly have. And if the Seahawks came out and beat them 34-6 today, is that on the table? I'm sure it is. I just think with Brock Purdy and McCaffrey and Shanahan, the blowout's not. It's just not going to happen. And the longer the game goes, the tighter the Seahawks get. The weather's going to be perfect. Yeah, I got the Niners. So tomorrow, the first game is the Patriots and the Texans. I'm just going to go with the Patriots here. The Patriots didn't really impress me. They probably should have lost to the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers got to convert. I mean, that game was just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if I'm a Patriots believer, which I am this week. I'm just coming away with the fact the Texans aren't going to score, and we'll just win similar to how we beat the Chargers last week. The Texans defense is great, but we got to chill out with this all-time defense. Like, it's just not the case. The Steelers' offense is inept. Steelers made a couple defenses this year look pretty damn good. So I'm not sold the Texans' defense is going to keep Drake May off the board. I think the Patriots just have a better team when it comes to fundamentals, staying out of third and longs, not turning the ball over, penalties, little things that the Texans they just always seem to screw themselves. And I hated the way Stroud played. I mean, no one did. No one liked the way Stroud played, but he was so bad. Like, in a game where he didn't have to take any chances and he just couldn't protect the football. He looked weak in the pocket. The game's on the road. It's in New England. I'm going to take the Patriots. I'll take the 3. I saw it might have gone up to 3.5 in some places. Doesn't really make sense to give 3.5. You may as well pay the juice and give it the 3. So I'll do that. And I don't think the Texans are going to score very much. I think the Patriots are going to go to the AFC Championship. That's what I said last week. As long as they got through the Chargers, I thought that was going to be the toughest matchup. And yeah, they survived the Chargers. The offense, it's almost like a perfect storm for the Patriots. They got out the jitters, and they didn't play great. So it's hard to be like, wow, I think the Patriots just scored 30 points against the Texans, but they don't need to. They're just going to win this game, and it will probably go under. And if it goes over, it'll be a situation where the Patriots defense blows them out. I think I like the Niners tonight, but I know that, on the road, bad things could possibly happen. The Patriots are probably my favorite bet. Got the Patriots going to the AFC Championship. If the Bills somehow survive against Denver, it'll be hard to, bet against Josh Allen, one win away from the Super Bowl against a team where he just scored 35 points against and came back and all that. But because I got the Broncos winning today, I think the Patriots head to Denver, and it's not Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, but it's Drake May, Bo Nix, and I think the Patriots win that game. So the last game, look, there's no really logic to what's going on here in Chicago, but I'm not going to run away from it and not bet the Bears. I'm certainly not betting the Rams. It's 4 points. If you're going to look at the X's and O's and try to figure out some matchups here and where the Bears can exploit the Rams, the only real play it seems like is the Bears to just score 35 points. But I have a feeling that this Bears defense is going to make a play or two. I mean, the Rams offense just kind of, eh. It's when I watched them against the Panthers last week, I felt like there was, at the end of the game, Puka made a nice play or not nice play, an amazing play to knock the ball out of the defender's hands, and the Rams ended up scoring and winning. But I just saw too many things where I'm like, man, they can't really get the run game going. The offensive line's not nasty, and I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball against the Bears. I think you're going to get a couple third and longs, and I think the Bears might dial something up. I think the Bears, if the Bears won that game, win this game, it will not be shocking to me at all. I got it as a 50-50 game. I'll take the Bears +4. I think the Rams probably win by 1, 2, or 3. Just feels like that's the way this Bear season's going to go, where it's going to be super tight, and then maybe they get a heartbreaking loss and they just don't have enough. But it's also very much equally on the table they win this game. So when you think about the spread, think about betting, I'm 100% going to take the 4 points. And I think the Rams, just something's missing this year. I don't think the Rams are a Super Bowl team, or I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl. I guess they can get there. I hate thinking that I really like the Patriots win the Super Bowl. It's driving me crazy, but I guess I'd rather be wrong about the Seahawks tonight and they beat the 49ers and they go win their Super Bowl. That would make me feel better. But from a betting standpoint, when I look at everything, I just think the Patriots make the least amount of mistakes. And I trust that quarterback the most out of the remaining quarterbacks and the situations they're in. So that would be my 2 cents here on the games today and tomorrow. I'll put all my bets out here in a minute with a couple prop bets for today and tomorrow. So I'll be back on Monday. I was going to do something with Jay Meyer, just schedules didn't work out on Friday. And we'll do something. Hopefully, I'll get him with me on Monday. If not, it'll just be me. And then I'll give you my thoughts here on Miami, Indiana, preview the AFC and NFC championship. And all right, have a good day. See you guys. Good luck.